Privacy. This is control over access to our personal information. And so privacy is not so much something we have, but something we do.
I would beg and steal, beg and steal.
Here's an example. This record looks like a contradiction. It seems like once Elvis records these songs about his heartbreaks and how he will beg and steal, and then releases them for sale, it seems like the moments can't possibly be private any longer, since anyone can purchase the record and listen in on the intimate lyrics. That's not quite right, though, because for privacy, it doesn't matter who knows about personal moments. All that matters is that Elvis controlled who knew. As long as he did, and as long as he decided to put the intimate moments on the open market, they are private. And they remain private no matter how many records are pressed and regardless of how widely they're sold. How wide is the range of personal information? The start is data that identifies. Superficially, this would be the numbers defining your body, your age, your income. But more penetratingly, these are memories, aspirations, fears, urges. All these experiences can be located temporally and geographically, tracked economically, and analyzed psychologically. Next, the specific experiences can be labeled, measured for intensity, organized as an individual profile, commodified for sale. So ultimately, personal information is the datification of who you are. It can be tempting to define private as just the opposite of public. That's misleading, though, because the idea of something being public describes access as total and indiscriminate. And in the world of information and big data, the accurate opposite of that availability is not privacy, but secrecy, as in very few or no one has access. What privacy does is modulate the space between these two. The act of privacy decides where we are on the spectrum from the public to the secret. And privacy includes every position, every degree of concealment and exposure, as long as the person whose information is being shared has control over where the line will be drawn. So reading and then walking past a warning that you are entering a space that is so public that you will be exposed to the entire universe in perpetuity is not a moment of privacy surrendered, but instead a moment of privacy defined at one edge of the range, stretching from the public to the secret. Privacy conceived as control over personal information explains why a wedding can be a private affair, even though strangers may be there. As in this picture from Elvis's wedding, where we have an accordion player lurking in the back who the couple probably hadn't met, or maybe even seen before. The fact that a stranger is in the wedding doesn't mean it's not private if the couple decided to grant entrance and allow him to witness their intimate moments, their first kiss as a married couple, their cutting of the wedding cake. So, counterintuitively, what appears in this crowded space is extreme privacy. While it's true that many people, including many strangers, see everything about the couple, what matters is that the couple is providing the transparency. At the other extreme, here's an example of privacy's violation. It's slight, but provides a sense of how the violation feels. It's the sensation when someone takes your picture without your permission. The hollowness and the annoyance is there because you've lost control over access to who you are. It's no longer possible to cover your eyes with sunglasses or pull a hat down to hide your face.
Why are you taking a video of me? I don't really care for other people to just be taking a random video of me.
Obviously, this is a small loss. Your height, your weight, your expression, the clothing you wear. But you still surrender the ability to shield that information from others. So, theoretically, the feeling of privacy's violation is the tinge of a loss. It's the depletion of the ability to determine who has access to your personal information. And in human terms, that translates into feeling frustrated, angry, like wanting to knock someone in the face. The larger result is that it's a paradox, but not a contradiction, that on the one hand, a wedding with its crowd and photographers and people that the marrying couple may not even know, all that may be a perfectly private affair. While on the other hand, a moment of conflict between only two people, a biker and a photographer outside a grocery store, that can be a scene of privacy's invasion. Here's privacy's definition applied in the real world. We can use it to answer a question that stumped a congressional hearing.
I would argue that maybe the fact that we haven't had any complaints come forward with any specificity arguing that their privacy has been violated clearly indicates, in 10 years, clearly indicates that something must be doing right. Somebody must be doing something exactly right.
But who would be complaining?
Somebody whose privacy was violated. You can't have your privacy violated if you don't know your privacy is violated, right? Can you?
I disagree with that. I mean, I think if the tree falls in the forest, it makes a noise whether you're there to see it or not.
Well, that's a new interesting standard in the law. Like, we're going to have this conversation, but we're going to have wine because that's going to get a lot more interesting.
Fair enough.
Because privacy is control over access to our personal information, we can say that it doesn't matter whether we know that the information has been captured by someone else and passed around. It doesn't matter because if it has been passed around, then we can no longer determine who gains access. We can say absolutely, therefore, that even when we're not consciously aware that someone has recorded our voice or photographed our body, it remains true that our privacy has been violated. It has, because our power, what we're able to control, has been diminished.